Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining this lightning talk. The topic of this talk is progressive delivery, eliminating risk with feature flags. My name is Cesar Saavedra and I'm a Senior Technical Marketing Manager at GitLab. If you have any questions after this session or if you'd like to get in touch with me afterwards, please feel free to reach out to me via these social media handles. So GitLab is the AI-powered DevSecOps platform. GitLab includes capabilities for every phase of the DevSecOps lifecycle, from planning to testing to deploying and monitoring, and all in a single application with a single data model and a single user interface. We also provide AI-assisted capabilities such as code suggestions, explain this vulnerability, summarize issue and merge request comments, explain this code, and value stream forecasting, among others. These AI-assisted capabilities span across the entire DevSecOps lifecycle to help streamline your processes, increase productivity, and speed your cycle times. Some of the benefits you get by using GitLab are improved developer experience, higher performing teams, secure software supply chain, and support for hybrid and multi-cloud applications and environments. So what is continuous delivery? It's when your software can be released to production at any time. Here, as you can see in this pipeline, there is a side of it called CI, which is the left side of your screen here. That's the continuous integration portion of the pipeline. This is where you are doing your code commits, you're collaborating with others, implementing new capabilities, for example. This is when you're building the applications, this is when you're testing them, etc. Now on the right side of this pipeline, you see the continuous delivery portion, or the CD pipeline. And this has to do with anything related to deploying an application and monitoring it in, for example, review environments, staging, or production environments. So what is progressive delivery? So progressive delivery is a facet of continuous delivery, and it is the ability to test in production while controlling your audience of who can exercise or see updates to your application. You can think of it as the ability to test in production safely. Another term that is used for this is developer experimentation. So the question then is how to expose new code to production in a safe manner. So the answer is feature flags. In this slide here, you see a before, during, and after pictures of the way feature flags work. So in the before picture here on the left side of your screen, you see a version 1 of the application running in whatever environment it's running. It could be production, for example. And then when you deploy feature A and feature B, you're introducing version 2 into the environment. This is the during portion in the center of the slide. Here you can enable or disable features and control who can see the specific feature and who can exercise those in production. Now on the right side, once you've verified that the feature is working well and nothing is broken, you can then remove the features and make those basically available as part of the application to all users. And this would be the after picture on the right side of the screen. One of the strategies that feature flags support is what we call based on percent rollout. So you can, for example, deploy a feature and specify that only 10% of users will be able to see that feature. As you feel more comfortable with how the feature is behaving in production, you can increase that to higher percentages, like for example 30, 50, and when you really feel that the feature flag has been verified and is working well, then you can increase that to 100% and make that feature available to everyone. This is the way feature flags look like in the UI within GitLab. We will show this in the demo. So the benefits of using feature flags are lowering risk by preventing unscheduled outages, controlling your audience in a fine-grained fashion, and by optionally using feature flags in conjunction with canary deployments, for example. Ease of use, by its simple configurability, support of user lists, built-in feature flag service, and simple instrumentation. Also, our feature flag implementation is language agnostic since it supports all of the main programming languages, and also better compliance and audit via the automatic recording of all feature flag actions by the GitLab platform. Very good. So let's now move on to the demo. In the demo itself, we're going to be impersonating Rachel, who is a release manager in an organization. And we're going to see how she uses the feature flag, how she can set up strategies for different environments, and also how she can control the audience that will be seeing a specific feature. Now, before we jump into what Rachel does, I would like to spend a couple of minutes here explaining to you how a feature flag is created and how you can configure it. So in this example, there's a feature flag called prods in alpha order FF, which is basically the same feature we will demo in a minute. But the way to create a feature flag is really, you just click on this button, new feature flag. And this is where you will put the name and the description. And this is the section where you would define the strategies. For example, you can choose to do a strategy for production that is a percent rollout of 50% based on available ID, for example. And then here you would choose production. And then you can add another strategy for a different environment. It could be, for example, a user list. This is a user list that has already been defined. And you can choose, for example, maybe a specific review environment as the target of this strategy. So once you create the feature flag, I'm going to cancel out of this. It would appear here, and you can enable and disable a feature flag here by using this toggle. Now, one more thing that you need to keep in mind is that for developers to instrument the feature flag within their code, they're going to need two things. They're going to need the API URL of the feature flag service that is built into GitLab, and also the instance ID for this project. These are both for the specific project. So you would need to save these two values and share them with developers either via a group environment variable, or you can share these on a project per project basis. Good, so now let's move on to the specific demo about Rachel. In this demo, we're going to be Rachel, who's a release manager. We're going to be deploying a feature flag to 3 different environments: review, staging, and production. So Rachel here is going to go to deployments, feature flags, and this is the feature flag we saw earlier. She's already created a user list, and this user list has 2 users in it, Michael and Mary, and the name of the user list is prods in alpha order user list. Now let's review the strategies that Rachel has created. The first one is for the production environment, and it's a percent rollout of 50% based on available ID. The second strategy is for staging environment, and this is using the user list that you saw earlier. And the third strategy is the one for a review environment, and it's based on a specific user ID and is targeting one single user called Thomas. Rachel here is making sure that the correct review environment is assigned to this strategy, since there are a lot of feature branches that are being worked on at the moment. Very good. She saves the changes. And now let's head over to the review environment first. We're going to open the application in the review environment. And we're going to log in as Thomas. Remember, Thomas is the only person that is supposed to see this feature. And this feature actually sorts this list of products by alphabetical order, as you can see. Now she logs out as Thomas and relogins as Peter. And as you can tell here, Peter does not get a list of products in alphabetical order. So that was the strategy for review. Now let's head over to production. Now we're going to log on as 6 different users, and 3 should get it and 3 should not, based on the 50% strategy. We log in as Peter. Peter does not get the feature. So Magic does get it. Michael gets the feature also. We log in as Henry, and Henry does not get the feature. We log in as Mary. Mary does not get the feature. We log in as Thomas, and Thomas gets the feature. And as you could see in production, 3 users got the feature and 3 users did not get the feature being a list of products that are listed in alphabetical order in the table. Now let's head over to staging. The staging has a strategy where Michael and Mary, which are in a specific user list, are the only ones that can see this feature. So let's log in as Michael, and you can tell here Michael does get the feature. And we log in as Mary, and Mary should also get the feature. There. And let's try a user that is not in that user list. So we can try Peter. And Peter does not get the feature. So that's correct. That strategy is working just fine. Very good. So now let's see how this feature is instrumented in the application. So let's head over to the project and navigate over to the app controller Java class. And here you see there are some import statements for the open source Unleash project, which is the one that we use for feature flags. Then some private variables are being defined here to be used locally. And these are the 3 variables that are used also, environment variables. The first 2 are the ones that we got from the configure button, remember? And the third one, GitLab environment name, is injected by the GitLab platform. Then a config object is being created, and then we're using that config object to create an instance of Unleash. Then after that, all we need to do is an if then else, and the if part is actually checking if the flag is enabled, and if it is, then the products on line there 64 are being listed in a sorted order, alphabetical order, and otherwise, if it's not enabled, the products are just listed in the way or in the order that they were entered in the database. Feature flags allow you to safely test new features in production, or any environment really, by controlling at a very granular level who the audience of that feature will be. Feature flags can help lower risk of unscheduled outages. They are easy to set up, instrument, and use. They are language agnostic, and they can help you stay compliant and always be audit ready. We would like to invite you also to try out our 30-day free trial of GitLab. You will get all of the capabilities of the platform for those 30 days by clicking on this button or heading over to our GitLab website and looking for the link for the 30-day free trial. Thank you so much for attending this session. Bye.